Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Factorio, and today on the Laziest Bastard Achievement Challenge, whatever you want to call it, we are starting our minibus. The idea here is that the first factory that we just built, the one on the left there with just the little dinky things, that was temporary, and it's going to be replaced by this minibus, which is going to be temporary, but longer term, until we start making things in little outposts in our rail world that we're going to be setting up. And we're doing steel processing in the science, which is going to help us get to those rails eventually. We're really taxing iron doing all this. There's not much you can do about it. Iron's going to be the bottleneck for episodes. There's just nothing I can do. A lot of what I'm doing, I'm splitting my time halfway between fixing iron and ignoring the fact that I have a problem with iron. And it's just the way it's going to work. I picked this world specifically because it had an iron problem, because I thought it would be a fun thing to deal with. And maybe it wasn't quite as fun as I thought it would be. But anyway, I noticed here in my furnaces that the Autofill mod I'm using, which I called Folkfill last episode, and that's not correct. It's something Autofill, and it's by Folk. I'll put the name in the show notes at the bottom, but I just the name of the zip is Folkfill, and I used the names of the zips to determine what the mods I was using were. But I also need to, I was grabbing arms out of the inserter here. I'm still doing it, and it's auto placing them all. And then I'm counting how many red arms I need so I can change this thing to making arms. And then once I get that number, then I can change it over to making red arms, and then I can make those, and then it auto places all those. And now everything is happening on the bus. It's we're creating green circuits, and we're creating power poles, and we're creating boxes. So we can now we're now utilizing the wood that the Autofill mod keeps putting in there. So now I can expand my belt, my bus, and I split the blueprints of this up into smaller chunks so I can do it piece by piece at a time. I think that's a wise way to do it, simply because it gives you more fine-tuned control over when you're creating what you're creating. So the first thing I want is those lighted poles, though. So I'm putting those down. That way I can replace all my electric poles with lighted poles, and then when night comes, I can actually see what I'm doing. I really like the lighted pole mod. It's one of my new favorite mods that I've found. I've also got Squeak Through installed. I don't know if you notice it. Oh, there. Do you see there? I just deleted that the factory up top there. What I did was I picked up a factory out of the assembler that I have. I picked up an assembler. I needed a blue one for the lights, so I created a blue one, and it placed it up above here where I had done that. So I had to pick it up again and then let the Autofill mod place it down below, and because the Autofill mod, or the blueprint BlueBuilder, places things closest to you first. So you want to be standing near the thing that you want to place if you have a whole bunch of blueprints down when you make them, because when you grab those items, it's just going to place them in the closest one. So I learned that one the hard way. Now I'm teaching you so you can learn it the easy way. Yeah, so let's see. Now we're still researching steel. Next up is stone walls, which are important for the outposts. But that's about as far as we can go on red science. So I'm going to need to get the green science going as fast as possible. So this is among the things I'm doing here where I'm ignoring the iron problem just in order to get things done, because I can't really fix the iron problem fully until we have rails, because I need to be training in more iron ore, because we just don't have enough on that iron patch to fill up an entire array of furnaces. So let's see. I still need factories or assemblers. I still need blue assemblers to finish off the thing up here. So I think, what am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the resources for these things. I need iron, and I need circuits and things like that. And now I'm grabbing these as they go and letting them place up here. And I'm counting. I need 5 more. Need 5 more of the assemblers. And yep, we're still researching. Yeah, radar amplification. See, that's another mod I've got. I'm not going to talk about it until I actually start placing radars, but it's researching that because I don't have any green research going on. All I have right now is red. There's another reason why it's doing that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But so we finally finished the assemblers, which is nice. And here's where I learned to use long reach to my advantage. So I can stand near the factory up there, and near where I'm placing the blueprints, and then grab things out of my assembler, and then it will place them where I'm standing, as opposed to it'll place them where I'm standing when I'm standing in the correct spot instead of there. See, I grabbed them and then it placed them all up here. So now the only thing left to do up here is put these science labs. So I can remove the science, and then I manually placed that science lab up there so that it would go in the right place. And then now all we need to do is get some iron up there, taxing once again our iron supply that is horrifically overtaxed already, splitting it into 3 different places instead of just the 2 places it was previously split into. And then we need to get copper run up there as well, and we need some undergrounds, which of course is going to use more iron, and we don't have those on the minibus yet. And so yeah, I'm making the undergrounds. This is again spaghettification of everything. It's just the way the early factories work. You're going to have spaghetti. I know some of you will disagree with me, and you can have perfect factories all the time. I don't care. I'm going to have spaghetti, and that's just the way it works. I love spaghetti. And what do we got going on now? And yeah, I need more miners, so I'm making more miners. I like miners are crazy important early game, and I probably didn't prioritize them as much as I should have, but that's just the way it works. And yeah, we need more iron. We need at least double the miners down there for the furnaces that we have. So I already have 5, so I need 10 just for this half rack, if you want to call it that. It's actually a quarter rack of furnaces. It's 1/4 of what a full double-sided iron belt would fill. And let's see, what am I making now? I'm making pipes. Oh, I think I noticed here that we're having a power issue. And I think I mistakenly thought it was that we didn't have that second steam engine up there, but I think, no, that is the problem. That is the problem right now, because we have plenty of copper. It's just not, or plenty of coal, just not the steel furnace. And yeah, I've cleared out this area here, and I've decided to get the miners into there. What I really want to do is I really want to do the same thing with the copper that I did with the iron, which is place down some what do we call those, furnaces. And obviously I don't need this many, and I think I'm gonna eventually clear away most of them with the red blueprint. But I also want to clean off this area and get the coal directed up around it so that I don't have to build the miners around the coal and things like that. And yeah, here I'm setting up. I turned that belt around so that all the coal would go off of it before I picked it up, so I wouldn't have a whole bunch of coal in my inventory. I ended up getting some iron and coal in my inventory anyway, but you can't avoid it all the time. So now I'm placing the copper miners. It doesn't really matter where I put them or even how many I put. Looks like I'm going to do 5. That's probably 4 more than I actually need right now, but we might as well get it going. And then we need to. One nice thing is splitting off coal. You don't need to worry about it too much, because these furnaces things don't use coal very quickly. So what am I doing? Yeah, here's where I'm clearing away these, because I obviously don't need this many furnaces and things. And one nice thing about placing the blueprint, though, and letting it sit there is I know how much space it needs, so that I know that this, when I do fully fill out that line of smelters, it's going to fit in the space I have allocated for it, which is nice. I'm not going to complain about that, that's for sure. And then here I'm going to set up my little thing here, and we now have copper coming down the line, and let's just spaghetti it into where we already have it, and now that's running again. So we're going to start getting the green science made and the stuff. You notice that science is stalled out because I think because we don't have any copper going up there to make the red science. Yeah, and we're actually amusingly making more copper now than iron. Iron's the bottleneck, and I'm spending all this time getting a full rack of iron going, or a full rack of copper going. But what are you gonna do? That's just the way it works. I think, yeah, there I was setting up copper so it was on both sides of the belt. I don't know why I spent the time doing that. Doesn't seem like something that's all that necessary to get going here. And here's where I realized the problem. The bottleneck here was I had my research set up to go to green science, but I had filtered that out in the auto research mod, so it was not researching anything with green science in it, even though I wanted it to do green science. So I had to take that off and then let it go. And now we've run out of power again. We are out of coal, which is a bad thing. This is just the way it works. You constantly having a problem, and while you're fixing that problem, you get another problem. That's what we love about Factorio. So I doubled the coal production. I figure that'll probably be good enough, at least for the time being. I probably should have quadrupled it, looking back and knowing the future. But now I'm gonna just go in here. I'm gonna build the number of labs I need to fill this out. And I think it's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 7 on the top, 7 on the bottom, and then the 1 entry point. And I love that you can take inserters and grab out of a lab and put it into another lab. That allows me to just stuff everything in that first lab, and then each lab down the line splits off into 2 more labs, and then so it does it 3 times. So the first lab gets a lot of stuff taken out of it, and I think I'm going to eventually have to trade those for better inserters that grab faster, and I'll probably need to stuff even more in there more quickly. But that allows me to just run every science type to the one lab, and then it'll just automatically filter it out anyway. And I replaced my the blueprint over that because a couple of the science labs had gotten taken out, and I wanted to make sure that everything was set up. So here's where I'm mistakenly thinking that the problem is I need more steam engines, when actually the problem is I'm out of coal again. So I just doubled the number of steam engines, and I don't have enough coal for the 2 that were there. So that's on me. Also, I noticed that the furnaces ate my wood, so I can't actually make power bowls at the moment, which is annoying. But there's nothing I can do about it. It's just the way it is. That mod puts your wood in the furnaces as you place them. Here I'm checking the furnaces, and sadly none of them have wood in them anymore because they burned it all away. So I'm gonna have to chop down some trees in order to do this. And let's see, I'm counting the number of labs I need, and it looks like I think I ended up making 1 more than I needed, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, I've got a lab in my inventory that's literally never going to be used, but we have a way around that when the time comes. And yeah, here I'm stuffing some iron ore into the furnaces that I had picked up, and I need some more iron picks. So I just made 5 of them. That way, I shouldn't ever have to make another iron pick. By the time I need more picks, I should be on steel picks. And then let's instead of fixing the iron problem, let's extend our bus into not only using up the iron, building the bus, but also for things that need a whole bunch of iron themselves in order to do that. And because I'm not getting, yeah, I'm making more factories here, and I'm going to start needing the blue assemblers a lot more often than the gray ones. But you got to make the gray ones to make the blue ones. So I make some gray ones, and then I make some blue ones. And I got all these. We need more power poles though, and I don't have any wood. And yeah, I don't even have any wood sitting here. So I'm like, okay, fine. I will break down and I will chop some trees. So yeah, but still, the problem isn't trees right now. The problem is iron, and I really should have this fixed by now. It's annoying me watching this in post that I didn't fix the iron problem. And now I've basically tapped that iron patch, but I can make it better, and I could extend the bus even more. I put up 2 more things on the bus. There's my arms, and then there's my factories with a couple things after it, like the pipes and the picks, and then after that was just some miscellaneous things. I think I had my steam engines and stuff in there, and I think I have a science lab in there, and I don't need to make any more science labs. So I'm probably going to change that blueprint so that it doesn't even have science labs on it, because by the time I get to that point in the bus, I'm obviously never going to need to make another science lab. So there's no sense having it on there. There's no sense making them if I'm never going to use them, especially early in the game when resources are so important. And finally here, I think I'm about ready to actually address the iron problem, because I just need it. I need iron. I need iron. I need iron. I need iron. I need iron to make iron, and I need iron to make the iron that I need in order to get more iron. Yeah, it looks like I'm still not doing it. Yeah, see, I got 5 miners down there mining iron, and I should probably have at least 15, if not 20. So I finally start taking miners here, and here's where I'm still spreading them out. And I do this in map mode, which kind of sucks that I can't move out of the way because I was standing in the way. But nice thing about map mode, it allows you to kind of see a little bit more. It's not quite as dark in map mode as it is in regular mode. Especially at night, it can get pretty hard to see where resources are and things like that. Yeah, so I think, I'm making more miners, and I'm going to cover that whole field here. But what I should be doing is I should be ripping the whole thing up and placing the miners right side by side. So we're pulling the iron. We'll be pulling the iron out of the ground faster, using up that patch faster, but also getting more iron into the factory, which is the problem, as always, is that I don't have the iron to do what I need to do. But yeah, this is the end of the temporary factory. We don't need it anymore. We're making belts. We're making electronic circuits. We are making gears. Everything that uses electronic circuits and gears, we are going to be making in the factory as well. So we don't need to pick them up anymore. This is kind of a milestone moment. We're done with the original temporary factory, replacing it with, of course, our second temporary factory, which is this minibus. The minibus is destined to be replaced by the actual factory, which is going to be trains training things around from place to place. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be trains everywhere. I'm really looking forward to that part of the game here. And I set up the autofill mod here because I'm replacing my regular poles with lighted poles. So I set it up so that I can just do a planner, and I have to build it in a factory, which is amusing. But so I take that planner and I'm just highlighting everything so that any poles get replaced by lighted poles. And you see that I ended up with 19 regular poles, and so I just take those regular poles, dump them right into that factory so that it makes more lighted poles for me later. That's just gonna make walking around the factory much better. Everything will be lit up, and I don't have to worry about anything. And here I'm checking to make sure that we're getting enough coal. We are, mostly because the coal on the left side there has finally backed up to the point where it's at the splitter. So all the coal is going to the furnaces. If we start using coal more, which we will, those furnaces are going to have more problems. It's just the way it works. And finally, again, I realize here that these miners are just not cutting it. I need to pack them in and pack them in tight and just do it correctly, because this is not good. I placed these poles down here specifically so I could see what I was doing. That's kind of amusing. That's one nice side effect of this mod. It looks like I can get 5 in a row, and I can get 4 lines, so I can get 20 miners in here, which is going to be nice. I need 20. I need more than 20 probably. Actually, it doesn't look like I'm going to get a full 20, because I don't think that bottom row can take 5 miners across. But in order to handle smelting of those 20 miners, I'm going to need to actually make my smelter array. And I realize I can't put it where I had originally put the beginning of this one. I need to use the smelters that are currently down there as the right side of that array, not the left side of the array. So I need to clear out some space here, and then just place this down, and I'm counting it out, and I'm putting it right there, and then boom. So now we're gonna have enough smelting to smelt an entire half belt of iron. So one belt that's iron on one side and coal on the other side will totally fill that up, which is good. It's kind of what the factory needs. So I split this belt and I get it up here. So now if we can get enough iron to fill that half belt all the time, which I think we can, it will have a steady stream of half iron plates, like half a belt of iron plates, steady at all times, coming out of that that smelting array, and then of course half of those are going to go to science and half of those are going to go to making things, and that's still not enough iron to get what I need. So I need to pick up iron off the belt and throw it in when I need things, specific things like inserts and things like that. As those boxes fill up and we don't use the items in them, the iron will slowly trickle down into the rest of the factory and take care of that. So that's just the way it works, right? Because it's just, you just always need iron. So, but that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm really digging how the factory's turning out so far. We're on the cusp of getting the train set up, and once we do that, then the game's going to open up for me, which is going to be awesome. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm HMV, and I will, as always, talk at you later.